Cool. What's up, fellas? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's see what we get here. This power hour, bruh. Not power hour. Silver bullet. Quick look. So for those that watched the recap yesterday, pretty much the same idea. Right, we were looking at this 4-hour fair value gap. We have closed above it. So we mentioned how we want to see consequent encroachment hold. We ended up closing under it with this body, leaving that fair value gap. However, overnight, right, we were able to close back above not only the bearish 4-hour, but also the consequent encroachment. And right now, we're really just kind of within that area. So we can kind of work down, right, 15-minute. A little larger on the 15, but we did close above that as well. As of now, kind of pretty much just seek and destroy, right? Let's go to a 1 minute. Consolidation, higher highs, lower lows, higher high, lower low. We'll pull up the PD arrays. I like the idea of trying to hold this 4-hour fair value gap right here. I'm in the future. Why am I in the future? What's that mean? I got the advanced charts. Oh shit, right. I'm already at power hour. I know exactly how today plays out. Got to be careful. Yeah, I was watching to see if we could hold this, but pretty large SMT. So as price ran into this inefficiency, NQ actually cleared its high, right? Oh, that's not NQ. So NQ clears that high. We run out basically this external range. So pretty large disparity there. Right, we hold that premium. We start to run lower. I think that high impact news at 10 o'clock, more than likely we're going to attack this low if we don't do it right now. Yeah, with that discrepancy. Okay, so we already cleared that low. So now we're going to look to see if maybe low the 4-hour. What's the dollar doing? Kind of consolidating. Higher time frame. Hold that bearish. So honestly, if we get under that 4-hour, we may have to go look for them short-term bearish moves. Holding that premium, breaking lower. We'll see if we close underneath that 4-hour or not. We got new day opening gap here. Previous day low as well. We fall short of it here, so we have kind of relative equal lows we could target if we want to, but really want to see what we do at news. It looks like we're going to leave a fair value gap here, aligned with 4-hour consequent encroachment. We do. So now that becomes kind of our new area of interest. See if we either hold that or if we can invert that. That'll be pretty bullish in my mind. Because now, kind of conversely, right, NQ runs out this high. At the same time, it fails to clear the low, this low. So almost double SMT, which is more just mixed opening, to be honest. I wouldn't really look at this as SMT. Just because it's in both directions, right? We clear the high, and then we fail to clear the low. Yeah, just need more time. See if we can't get some movement. A little volatility injection at 10 o'clock. If we can invert this, I like that as a potential entry, especially if we closed back above the 4-hour fair value gap as well. Right, in a 4-hour sense, this 4-hour candlestick is going to close basically at 10 o'clock. Right, so right when that news comes out, that'll give us a good indication. Because let's say that we close back above this, or even on its consequent encroachment, we should be able to accelerate, honestly. Yeah, so to be honest, best case scenario, would we actually invert this before the news event so we can close above it? NQ, and then we'd want to see NQ take off. Well, we'd also want to see the dollar clear some lows. So we have a lot of lows here. I like that. We haven't cleared much sell side in the dollar. Been pretty bullish. Of course, we can kind of just continue to pump and be off sides, but I like that we create these lows to maybe target here. Let's see, 15-minute cents. Bullish. Fall short of that. 1 hour cents. Okay. Might be a little tough. We'll see what we get this morning. You need a trade to pass the eval? I got you. You have to go... No, I lied. Don't listen. I was about to say some random shit, but you do it. Hey, 50-50 chance you're right or wrong. You just go long. DX been going up all morning while we're being held. Yeah, usually we'd see that, right, as kind of a bullish signature. That if we're getting held here while the dollar continues to rise and we don't really see the indices fall with that same intensity, could be a sign we're getting manipulated and held so that when dollar does slip, the indices can kind of accelerate higher. Right, because like as we mentioned, yeah, 15-minute cents really before London, all one-sided. Well, we even kind of have that same movement, right? Run higher, run higher. Of course, into New York, we kind of accelerate higher where we're just getting held here, but I like the idea of us, yeah, holding. If we could hold that 4 hour, it looks like we're going to close below it, however. Which, if that's the case, we may want to be bearish. Right, because at some point, we don't really want to go full anticipation. We have to rely on really what the market's showing. So if we want to keep pushing in the dollar, we're going to see this continue to slip. 10 o'clock inbound. We'll watch, though. Let's see what we get. So now we have bearish fair value gap paired with 4 hour inefficiency, and we've just cleared a low. There's the news. We're opening with that volume imbalance. If we were to keep this open, right, the 4 hours closed on the low of that, if that stays open, we may want to get lower. Let's watch what happens as we come into this fair value gap for the first time here. If we can get into it. And Q goes higher. Dollar leaves equal highs. As we mentioned, if we can invert this, I like that for a long opportunity. We'll kind of get ready for it. Right, because in theory, we do hold, even though we open lower on this 4 hour, that's not a closure below, so we got to kind of understand that. Right, we still have yet to close below the 4 hour. Open bearish volume imbalance, completely negate that, close it back in. So I think we do end up inverting this. Which if we do, as we mentioned, I like that as a long, to be honest. I just don't like that dollar left its equal highs. NQ is the stronger of the two right now. So NQ once again taken off. But once again, oh, we're not going to close above that, are we? So already you can kind of be aggressive and say, if we're going to anticipate that we go bullish, this fair value gap should hold us. Personally, I don't like that we can't get above this inversion, especially with NQ running highs like that. So I wouldn't really trust that as long quite yet. If anything, that's more bearish. So we'd watch, honestly, if we are bearish, right, this high should be held. We've repriced into this fair value gap. We've closed below it. This fair value gap should be balanced. Let's pair that with 4 hour consequent encroachment. So I think, yeah, this would be a pretty important area for us. If we can't get above that 1 minute fair value gap here, we're going to go ahead and go long. And then honestly, we just go stop underneath the 4 hour like this. Target the high. Still holding. We did close above consequent encroachment, so we can watch that. I was thinking we were bearish today. Yeah, maybe. I was really just expecting bearishness into that 4-hour fair value gap, right? We're inside that now, so I think if we are going to go bullish, it'd be from here. Just watching to see what happens. Can we get above? So no fair value gap there. Still holding 4-hour, 1 minute. And we're not forgetting, right, the higher time frame, the original 4 hours here, which is why I'd like to see us get above the consequent encroachment and get above this fair value gap. Kind of working within a few PD arrays. Because this could still hold us here, especially. Dollar going higher and Q going higher. So right now, interesting. Yeah, not much to do at the moment. Let's move this one back. If we can close above this, we should be able to close above the inversion. Just because DXY going up, I don't like when they go together. Yeah, me either. But we can kind of use that as a forecast. Ooh, we might have missed that. So we closed above consequent encroachment, and then we use it. Ideally, I was hoping that we would just give us a quick close above, and then we could enter. But it looks like we might just absolute go. Oof. So we're going to close above that. So I still like the possibility of trying to use that inversion. At this point, we may actually miss that entry, but we're going to go in right there. Yeah, we'll try to use inversion play. We might have to adjust this entry if we leave a fair value gap. So basically right in there, where that candle created that low, if that stays how it is and this stays open, perfectly aligned with the 4-hour fair value gap, I think we're going to have to readjust the entry to use the high of the 4-hour with the stop underneath this inversion here. So we'll give up a little bit as far as entry, just about 2 handles, which is fine. To target the high. Okay, yeah. So that does. So we're going to have to go like that. We'll readjust this now to go under the low there. 3.5 for the high. Okay. Entry set. Oh, you little. We're going to just break away from that right there. Midnight level as well, right? Which is why I'm choosing to use this one here. If we could have got the retracement first, I would have liked that. But we displaced through midnight outside of the 4-hour, leaving a 1 minute discount. That kind of jumps out to me there. So we'll just try to use the high of it. Could have used the midnight, but we'll go in kind of with the safe, the conservative entry. We're holding this, which is fine, right? We kind of would expect that. We want to see hesitation here so we can get the retracement and then blast through. Kind of like we saw here, right? Hesitation, no retracement, however, but hesitation followed by that displacement through, same idea. Hesitation, give us entry, then expand through. For the time being, we got buy side here, equal highs, 2 equal highs. I like that. That becomes buy side. As far as external range, we could really go here, equal highs, relative equal highs. And then we have new week opening gap. So I kind of like that too, actually. Buy side with new week opening gap up here. Right, we closed above consequent encroachment too, so we'll see what we get. There's entry. As we mentioned, stop under this inversion here. We haven't come into it, so we could still venture that low, which means we have to allow for that. Ideally, though, we should just hold the high of the 4 hour. Dollar still just running. We kind of hope for a retracement because even though indices are accelerating, dollar is gone. Yeah. We're just going to have to rely on the indices here. I think that we're getting manipulated because dollar is off to the races. Sheesh. Yeah, dollar's got, hey, we got places to be in dollar, I guess. We got long here, same entry, so. We'll see how it plays out. Perfect reprice into the fair value gap. Now, right, if we can blast through this, after repricing into here, this is when we would expect for price to run through this bearish fair value gap. If we hold this and kind of retest this low, especially if we were to hold this and close back underneath the midnight, I think we'd be in trouble for our entry there. Right, we may get stuck in this consolidation, especially with dollar running to the moon. NQ is trying to follow it though. So right now we're really bullish all around the board, which is, I mean, not ideal to be honest. Right, we want to see this in NQ, but here in dollar, that's what we don't want to see. But the fact that we're doing this and kind of being held here makes me think if we can get any retracement in the dollar to attack these lows, we should start flying in the indices. Yeah, that's just, what the heck? That's clean though. Wick low, midnight, boom. So I'd really favor Six Sister. See if ES can't catch up. Dollar, you can go ahead and relax, to be honest. You're doing way too much right now. I like that. Consequent encroachment's been closed above, so absolutely nailed that swing low. Let's see if we can't keep that layer and get us some, I mean, do we partial at 5 handles? Was that? The 5 handle partial takes us this high? That sounds about right. One comes off here. Partial. Hello. There it is. Or 2 maybe. 2 comes off there. 4th of the position. 2 there, and then I really want to see this high up here, so we're gonna go like, we're gonna readjust a little bit because I do think if dollar can retrace, we should start running. So we've closed above this. I like that as well. Beautiful. Honestly, now that we've closed above that, we go stop below this swing point here because we've completely rebalanced the 1 minute. So we shouldn't even test this midnight, but we'll kind of leave us some room. As we mentioned, closing above. Cool. So we got the setup here. Let's see if it doesn't pay out. We'll go another partial here. So that's buy side, but we'll go partial. 2 more. Leaving 4 for here. I really like new week opening gap, honestly. It's like this. We go here. 2, 4, 6 leaves 2 for the final. Yeah, I like that. Fair value gap here. Could almost say you're confident in this, right? You go back in like that. Stacking a position at that inversion. Everything bullish but YM. I haven't even looked at YM in fucking months. What's YM doing? We'll entertain it. Yeah, it's gross. Actually, not too bad. To be honest, look at YM. Let's look at YM. We'll go split view though. So dollar, oh, that's NQ. Okay, hold that. That's good. Dollar, okay. We need to clear this. Let's take this as an inversion and start attacking all these lows. Beautiful. YM, I mean, kind of ugly, but to be honest, clear short-term lows. If we can accelerate through highs right there, that's bullish. NQ bullish. Dollar create inversion and run bearish. Okay, We'll see what we get. As we mentioned, you could stack here. We did not. That's fine. I like that entry we got here. So partial one should be hit soon. At that point, stop would go underneath the swing low where we entered. Because now, right, we're back above 830. We hold this inversion as we spoke about with the bullish fair value gap, midnight level, and swing low. So wouldn't want to see. If we were to come back for this low, more than likely we would attack the stop anyways. So we can put it right under that low. Obvious partial level because it's a swing point paired with an inefficiency that has yet to reach its consequent encroachment, right? So we talk about that a lot as being a draw. As price is going to want to return into a consequent encroachment of inefficiencies. Pair that with buy side. And then of course we have equal highs too. So we would want to see this hold us for the time being. Dollar's getting that retracement. Okay, slip. Keep on slipping, baby. We're getting held at the hidden volume balance, right? So we understand what's happening right here. This candle closes here. Next candle opens here. So not only is it an inefficiency, but it's also a hidden volume imbalance. And there's actually one at the high of it too. So we want to see higher runs, but I think it'll be kind of a high resistance liquidity run, which is why we have to keep the stop down here for now. Right, two sets of volume imbalances, swing high, volume imbalance here, and that's actually what the bodies are getting stopped right at. So kind of like we spoke about here, we expect hesitation, but we'd want to see price then hesitate, retrace, push through. We wouldn't want to kind of hold, break down structure. Like if we were to hold this, close back underneath this inversion, we may be in trouble there. Wasn't able to get a partial off yet, so if we get returned on, that'd be unfortunate, but part of the game, part of the game. We don't need all these lines. Let's clear that up. We understand, right? That's the volume imbalance. Don't even really need the inefficiency. We could see it, so. Just cleared this low. Ideally, we hold consequent encroachment. As we're saying, we don't want to start closing back underneath this. Because now really we're clearing a short-term high and displacing back below premiums. I don't like that. Bearish volume imbalance. We'll see if that stays open. As we said, stop at this point, still really underneath this original inversion where we were going to enter. Because we never come back into it. I mean, I really wouldn't want to see us come back into it, but because we fell short of this high, I would still allow that, which is why stop is where it is. We were able to cut some risk from the original entry, so if we eat this stop out, still not a full stop, which is fine for us. And we'll look for another opportunity. Fell just short of that partial, unfortunate. Dollar's starting to rebound off of its retracement, so we don't like that too much. Right, we wanted to see this fair value gap get inverted. Instead, we kind of hold at the low, and we're starting to attack a high again. NQ gives us a deep retracement. So we may be a yeah. We'll be patient. We'll see. So retest of the midnight. To be honest, I wouldn't want to see any less than that. We close under this. We need to reclaim that, but midnight would need to hold us. We do have a 5-minute fair value gap that we could try to get into. And the 5-minute is right here. Five-minute, right? This is the 1 minute. We're going to move that for the time being just so you could see. 5 minutes here. That's kind of aligned with that inversion. So yeah, stop goes underneath that. Retesting this reclaimed bearish fair value gap would want us to get back above that. So it becomes an inversion here. We hold it, fall short of the partial. We then reclaim it bearishly, closing underneath. So now I'd want us to get back above it to try to use it once again as an inversion. As we said, midnight level holds us nicely. Okay. Dollar still trying to retrace actually, so okay. That's pretty good there actually. All right, dollar gets a huge down move in here. And we've actually closed underneath. So I like that, We've now created the inversion here. We'd want this to hold us and continue to accelerate us lower. Not a fan of that wick in the slightest at all, to be honest. Because we're wicking the bearish volume imbalance. Oh dear, terrible wick. Absolute minus wick. Yeah, that's almost the last thing we'd want to see right there. We commit to it though, at this point. A good entry. Ooh, excuse me. Good entry point. At this point though, with this wick, if we were to reclaim, right, this is an inversion, we should have kind of free reign to run straight up into this partial. I'd be very surprised if we close back above this fair value gap and this volume imbalance and failed to run out this partial here. And because of that, actually, if we get above this volume imbalance, I'll move stop to this low without even taking the partial. Because if we were to get above this and we retrace on ourselves, more than likely we would run out the stop anyways. Dollar still kind of running lower, so it leaves a bearish fair value gap aligned with its inversion, which I'd want to see us hold. Nice. Okay. Five-minute. Okay, we're still actually holding that 1 minute though right here. So the original 1 minute that we entered on holds us again. Nice. Retesting volume imbalance. Let's get above that. Ideally, we hold the consequent encroachment of this inversion right here. And then we close above. But if we reject here again and attack these lows, as we're saying, that's probably a bad sign for us. I would say I put more emphasis in volume imbalances than fair value gaps, to be honest. Because volume imbalances are actual gaps in price. where fair value gaps are kind of simply inefficiencies where prices moved quick. But right in an area like this, we actually open with a true gap. So even though that we reprice into it, that to me kind of holds more weight than the fair value gaps. Which is why I would say, like in this case, right, we could close above this fair value gap, but if we still were to hold this, there's a chance that we can come back down. Whereas if we were to close above the volume imbalance, then to me, that's more important than closing just above the fair value gap itself. Kind of like what we're seeing here, right? That volume imbalance really holding us in our tracks. Torture action, right? We call that high resistance, baby. This is where you just commit to them ideas. We commit to our side. We have our obvious invalidation points here. So now we just have to sit through it. Once again, volume imbalance holding us aggressively. Five hours. Damn, you've been here for 5 hours? That would suck. To be honest, that's why I kind of leave my I have my little window of time. Makes it easier. She since London. Oh, you're grinding. You're grinding. I respect it. Respect the grind. So like right here, right, we close above. Oh no, we didn't. I lied. Don't even listen to me. We close at the high, but still volume imbalance. That's the key flip point, right? The line in the sand that I often say. Above that, we should have free reign to partial. Below it, still have a good chance of getting stopped. So I want to get us above that. Especially because now dollar and Q are moving higher together. Man, dollar, make up your mind, brother. I don't like that. I don't like that. Tried trading London session. Hey, some people tear it up. For me, yeah, not a London guy. That's just middle of the night for me, so I'd be too tired, you feel? Plus, I've always favored New York because you get to see what London did, right? So it kind of gives you a little bit of indication of what price may want to do going forward into New York. Beautiful. So as we said, oh, that's actually hideous. I take that back. Was beautiful, instantly turned hideous. If we close right here, yeah, that's going to be terrible for us. Dollar's about to clear a high again. I think we get stopped here. I've closed one contract in my actual funded right now just because, right, we're chopping quite a bit. Not trying to take out an unnecessary stop. So we've took one partial at that volume imbalance, which puts us at 3 handles. So I mean, not really much, but right, notice how we're trying and we're continuing to jam into the premiums. So that's why I would favor running higher. Even though it's going to be high resistance, the fact that we keep closing near premiums and away from discounts, right? And what I mean by that is, notice how when we come into discounts here, bodies really aren't trying to get near it. We're hovering. It's all wicks. But as we run into premiums, right, this inversion, this volume imbalance, the bodies continually try to get higher and higher into that. Which to me, a good sign. Right, bad sign that we're still really being held at that volume imbalance. As I was saying, I want to get above that. If we get above that, we should be able to run. But I mean, it's holding us pretty aggressively. And this is why I was saying, even though we have cleared and closed above this fair value gap, because that volume imbalance is there, I don't really trust this. We could very easily run right back through this fair value gap, back down into our entry, and continue to kind of mess around in here. Which it looks like that's going to want to be with the case. Cause yeah, that damn volume imbalance right there, brother. Jeez. We'll see if we can hold this though now as the inversion. Right, we reclaim it as an inversion here as soon as this candle closes. So now we're testing it as an inversion. We'll see if we can't hold that. This damn volume imbalance needs to get out of the way. More importantly, okay. Damn, I missed this right here. 5-minute volume imbalance. This one I put even more emphasis in. That's here. This one I put more emphasis because it's a 5-minute and, right, look at here. That's kind of that sensitive one we speak of. Where we open here or we close here and we open here with no wick. So now this becomes a pretty sensitive area, a key area in price, especially because, right, the low of it is the 830. So I think we're going to get held here. So move this. We really need to clear this. We're getting very choppy. That true. Gotta just leave real quick. All right, fellas, we're going to go bathroom. I'm going to go get some water. Oh my God, look. See, I just had to say it. So I don't mind that, but like now we would need to move away immediately. We can't continue to keep testing this, especially after hitting the low of that, right? That's perfect repricing. So even if we are choppy right now, we've repriced into what we're looking to reprice into. We need to close above the volume imbalance and reach into our partial. Go ahead, price. Listen one time, just listen. It wants it. It wants it. It wants to do it. Oh my God. See what I'm talking about? This volume imbalance. This damn volume imbalance. The strongest volume imbalance of all time. That's crazy. That is crazy. I might just close this, to be honest. Damn. I think we get reversed on here. Dollar goes higher. E, NQ. We have SMT right now with NQ. All right, dollar inverts the inversion. Reclaiming it as a bullish, is using it as support. Not a fan. NQ. This high here lower than this high, or higher, excuse me. Whereas in this high, we ran that high out. So right now, SMT. NQ looks like it's going to want to test that high. Yeah, we are, this is, I mean, textbook high resistance. Oh wait, chill out, chill out, chill out. This is it. Oh my. Okay, kind of like we spoke about here. This is very hideous, but we have to really look at the underlying signatures, what's happening. To me, bodies right, are still attempting to attack these premiums. So we're getting a lot of wicks lower, which is hideous, I'll agree. But if we were to only look at the bodies, right, bodies are bullish to me. Once again, we're closing right on the volume imbalance. We're closing right on 830. Let's go ahead and finally give us the partial, baby. Patience pays off. Beautiful. Beautiful. I wouldn't mind double partial off rip for all that patience we had, you know what I mean? Now we can go break even, stop below that low. Risk-free trade. We don't care what happens anymore. We'll take one more partial if we can clear this high, as we said, but at this point, if we get stopped out, unfortunate, but we're content with that. We're able to partial out. We get above the volume imbalance. I really think we should just run, to be honest. At least this high. Because this isn't even external range, right? True external range is here, this high. So we should be able to clear this high at least. Dollar is retracing lower, so all right. I feel content. As we said, great entry down here, swing low entry. Really not in danger. Like if we were to attack and clear this low, we would more than likely want to stop us out anyway. So what I would look at though is because this played such a strong area of resistance and we close above it, it needs to hold as support. If we close back underneath it, I think we just continue that choppy consolidation and this high right here does not get taken out. Especially because we've wicked this original high, right? And we're really holding still this 1 minute inefficiency that we had labeled. So we moved it, but now we've repriced into the high of it. So if we're bearish, we hold here. Because from this high to low, this is external range, right? Last premium will often hold us in the range as we speak of. So we've been able to partial out. If we get stopped, that's fine. I would like one more partial to get half of our position kind of covered, but profits are profits. Retesting this again, once again, would want this to hold. Ideally, we wick into the low and actually hold the volume imbalance. That would be best case scenario. NQ runs the high again. So NQ really is the leader here. What high is that? Okay, no, never mind. That's the same high in ES. Partial. All right, let's hold that. Let's hold that. Candle body snap. Ah. Ooh. Okay. I think stop inbound. Which will be unfortunate, but that's why we partial. I was thinking about going short, but I just don't really want to push too much, especially with the dollar acting how it is. I mean, we'll see what kind of action we get. If we like displace through this, maybe we'll try that. Stop loss coming. One tick away. That'd be weak if we held that. That'd be money. And he still got a chance. If this can completely negate that, right, and we get basically that negated volume imbalance where we have no wick lower, and instead we overtake this bearish volume imbalance right there, that'd be a good sign for us. Equal lows though, so those might be one to just boop stabbed into. We'll see, we'll see. Ideally though, if we could just hold this and accelerate, that'd be money. Dollar's starting to make an aggressive move lower. So I'd want to see that met with speed higher here in the indices. Right, look at dollar. Or that's NQ, excuse me. Look at dollar. Huge run lower. Huge aggressive down move. What I don't want to see is us simply wick this though, right? Because we can kind of wick that and then accelerate higher. We got to close below that. More importantly, we have to close above this volume imbalance. We don't. However, we do create, I don't know about that. I think we're going to get stopped with these equal lows right there. We'll go right at break even. So if it wants to go perfectly, right, one tick below those lows, we have a chance. We'll see. We have a chance though, right? We trust the stops to do its job. As we said, this low should be protected. So we get real close to it, but we still protect that. We're re-attempting to now. Okay, let's get above this. Back above volume imbalance is a good sign for us. Dollar continuing to dump. So let's get that dumpy action. Let's let NQ and yeah. I like it. Big fan. Big fan. Man's not hot. Okay. To be honest, we could go stop at these equal lows. We probably should, but that's only 2 ticks, so we'll let it. Ooh, Holding the 5 minute. Did the 5 minute? Ooh, okay. So to be honest, we were able to partial out and we returned into the 1 minute, but check out that 5. We're actually holding that volume imbalance and the 830 level pretty aggressively. And we've just opened with a bearish volume imbalance. That's pretty bearish. Especially because we have an untapped 5 minute here, actually. We're going to run into that, I think. I think we're offsides here. Or not really offsides because we already partialed, but I don't think we're going to get this partial off before we get stopped out. It'd be nice. But I think it's going to want to reach into that 5 minute fair value gap first. And then if we return bullish, only then would we go bullish. Right, so remember, here's that 5 minute right here. So we'll look for another possible entry off the 5 minute as we come into that. Once again, 3 equal lows. I mean, hell. Let's get 1 tick below that in reverse. That's what we want to see right there. Ugly action today. We'll end up in profit, so good day, but just as far as the action itself, not a fan, right? Fortunately, we're kind of able to see through the nonsense, but it's still never fun having to sit through it. 5 minutes closing here in 10 seconds. So if this candle cannot close above this 830, I think we get stopped. 5 minute candlestick's about to close right there. It did. To be honest, we're going to close one more as we hit this right here. Right, because we're hitting that premium plenty of times, so I just want to close one more. At this volume imbalance. So then we get one more partial off. Nice. And then to be honest, I might even go one more inside this inefficiency right here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because that'll give us another 5 handle partial. That'll leave us with 4. So then we can go 2 here. And then I'll go 1, 1 like that. So just giving us what the market is taking. Oh, restart. Taking what the market is giving. I was like, why can I not figure that out? Because now with these right here, we could very easily just slam right through those. And we're still holding this damn volume imbalance. Sheesh. Right, this is why we cut through candles. It's not a one and done type of thing. Right? I mean, look at that. Continuing to reference it. Low key, we would want this to be a breakaway gap if we're going to attack this high. We'll hit it with a breakaway gap question mark. We'll just leave it. Fuck it. Yeah, we readjust because then we'll have 4, then we'll have 2. Holy cow. Yeah, that shit is unreal, huh? Running into the old barcode. I mean, just look at that. Yo! But that's why I'm thinking highs, right? Seek and destroy in here. High, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Let's get that higher high. And that's why I want to close most of the position here. Just in case we don't end up actually running. Right, we can kind of continue to seek and destroy. But yeah, that is so ugly. Holy cow. We're already partialed out, so that's fine. 3 equal lows. I mean, it would just make sense to run out those lows. With how we're moving, though, not much sense in today's price action, to be honest. But at this point, we're completely content. We've been able to run out a few partials. If we get stopped, it'll be stopped in profit, so all good. All is good. Must secure profits on days like this. Right, these are not the days to try to hold for full targets. Some days we do, but today is not that day. Say everything was in sync, right? Then we would. 10:45. So we may get a little 10:50 action, 10:50 macro to help us out, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Mike, you're a trooper for that. You built different, dog. But I guess that's what you got to do to get better. I often say how I only look at the charts for like, 3 hours a day, but it's only because I've spent so many days looking at it for 10 plus hours. You feel me? And I'm down. Oh, this makes it even worse. Hey, that's all right. Just a day, though. At this point, you just stop. Bruh, stop me out, please. End it. Once we get stopped, that's a wrap. Stop or TP, because I'm done with this shit. Hideous price action. I might go one more partial. I'm just going to close one more here, to be honest. If we hit this again, just continuing to close some right there. Because then that'll leave us 4, as we said, and then, yeah, we'll just partial at that high. I'd like to get the partial off here. I just don't know if we get that. Yep, good advice, Brisky. I have a question. In this type of price action, I usually back out of the initial trade and get, oh, no doubt. Right, that happened to me all the time. And that's why I've referenced a few times today that you just have to commit to our idea, right? We've picked our idea of where we think price should reach based off of previous price action. And now I just have to commit to that until the stops are taken or the TP is hit. Because just as you mentioned, right? So many times in the past, let's say I went long here and then I see us hold this and break away, right? Low key, I'd be trying to like short this. And then say that didn't work and I saw us holding this, then I would try to go long again. And then I'd see us hold this fair value gap. So then I would try to maybe short. And by the time it's all said and done, right, I've had 5 positions. None of them have been good because I'm all getting stopped out. So it's something that definitely has happened to me that I had to work through. And the answer to that, right, the thing that helped me was really what I just said. Committing fully to the idea once I'm in the trade. So once I'm in the trade, I'm not really trying to change my bias while I'm inside of it. It's happened a few times, but it has to be pretty obvious. Like today, like this, when we're just constantly back and forth action, this is a day where I just fully commit to the idea. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And there's nothing really wrong about that. That is when I blow out. No doubt. This type of price action, right, blows accounts. Quite literally what it's made to do. To chop people up back and forth. So you could either do 2 things, right? You limit yourself to, let's say, 2 trades in this type of action. If you're wrong one way and you switch it and you're wrong again, you have to call it. Or you just don't do anything and you watch what happens. Right? Because the only way, what we kind of forecasted this consolidation really here. As soon as we went up and down through this inversion, we can expect consolidation to take place. And the only reason that we know that is because we've sat through it plenty of times. So at some point, you really do have to kind of watch this play out, as much as it does suck. But watching it play out is what gives you that experience to understand when it will happen again. Hold that volume imbalance. Let's get stopped. Please, please. Yes. I'm done. Get me out. Change the positions. Make sure all the limits are gone so we don't accidentally get entered. Jeez, that was ridiculous. We'll wait and see if the 5-minute wants to get retested. Where's that 5-minute? We just had it. Gotta go way back. Oh my gosh. There it is. So now that we've closed below this, we'll see if we retest here. I think we might give it, I'm trying to decide if I want to give it one more chance. Maybe not. We'll wait until like 1050. 1050 to 1110 might give us something to work with. But we close with a slight profit so far to the day. How much? 0.25%? Well, we'll take that. 0.25% profit. So to be honest though, let's say that we come into this 5 minute. We do something like, all right, let's clear this a little bit. So we have lows here. Let's say that we hit midnight, create a low, bounce, clear out those lows and hit the 5 minute. Consequent encroachment, leave the 5 minute. That'll be an entry right there. As we leave the 5 minute, we'll look to re-enter on it, maybe stack. To get up there. Right, because if I go like this, untapped 5 minute, all of this is sell side. Double highs, double top. Yeah, I just think we should come for those highs right there. However, at this point, if we don't get into the 5 minute, let's say we held here, reclaim this, that'd be no entry for me. Right, so kind of my criteria to try to re-enter is that we have to tap this 5 minute fair value gap. And that's because we've spent so much time basically in here that I wouldn't necessarily trust that this is the key fair value gap to hold us if we go higher. I wouldn't mind it holding us to send us lower for the time being. But yeah, the 5 minute is really the indicator for whether or not we're going to look for an entry again. 1050 right now. So let's go ahead and try to run out a low. I'm outside in the AMG, outside DT. I'm outside in the AMB. Cool. So one of two things here that we can look for as far as entry. As we said, I would like to kind of form like an intermediate swing high maybe in here. So like we've just tapped this. I wouldn't mind us. Yeah, I'd want us to form some type of swing high, right? Whether that be like here, go down one more time. So then we could clear it. And that would give us an entry. Or, right, second opportunity, second way to look for an entry coming off of this inefficiency is now that we've traded into it, we would try to look and see if a fair value gap couldn't form here, maybe, right? So whether it be here, so it'd really have to be here, which already it's not going to form. But let's say that we formed a bearish fair value gap in here. We would then look for that to get inverted, and then that would give us, right, another opportunity to enter. So two types of entries we can look for at this point. I mean, best case scenario, would we get both? Okay, so we're not going to leave the fair value gap. But in the future, right, highest probability setup would be if we were to actually have a fair value gap here and a swing point. So then as we clear a high, we clear the fair value gap. But at this point, instead, we immediate rebalance. So that might be more bearish. Let's see if we get underneath this 5 minute. If we get underneath that 5 minute, we may be able to actually come back down for this low. NQ slipping as well. Let's go to a 30-second actually. So we have a 30-second fair value gap. I don't mind that. We'll see what the 1 minute can do. Honestly, now that we've hit consequent encroachment here, I wouldn't mind. So the 5 minute will close in 2 minutes. So we're going to wait for the 5 minute to close. So we'll let 2 more 1-minute candles play out, and then we'll see what we get. Okay. So I'm gonna go, let's see, if we end up holding that, I almost want to go in right there. I wish we just had an inefficiency or something. Because we could do this, but this is more of a risk entry. What's 5 handles? Oh, we didn't even close above it. So actually, this might give us an entry here. So let's see if that volume imbalance stays open. We're gonna use that. Volume imbalance stays open. We use that and the 5-minute fair value gap as a pair. 2 handle stop for 5 handles. Oh, we need to run that low. Come on. If we could run this low and hold the volume balance, that would be best case, because now we have 3 equal lows right there. And we ain't a fan of that. Did you have any other mentors when you were learning other than ICT? No. I mean, I started in retail, I guess, for like the first year. So you could say I was learning retail, but as far as mentors that I paid a lot of attention to, right, and try to emulate, purely ICT. Once I figured out what he does, yeah, that's all I wanted to do. So I don't really have any other, we'll say, teachings influencing what I'm looking for. It's purely ICT concepts and price action. Have you not tried any other models from ICT students? I guess no, I don't know. Probably not. Like T-Trade or Dodge model. I'm not really sure what those models are, to be honest. But I mean, I'm trying to think what I want to say here. To each their own, of course, right? I don't know those guys at all. But to me, they're not their own models. I'm sure they're models that they trade with, but they're purely based off of ICT action. Like, I guess maybe you can enlighten me. Like, what do you know shorthand? Like, what is their model consisting of? They're based, okay. So yeah, I guess to me, I would say, and I've kind of mentioned this before, I don't really have like a set defined model. Like I have models I like to see play out, but as far as one model that I need to rely on, that's not really the case anymore. I've spent enough time with these that I really just trade whatever PD array is given. So it could be a fair value gap, it could be a volume imbalance, could be a breaker. Of course, I have certain patterns that I favor, but I'm not necessarily relying on one over the other, if that makes sense. Dodge uses, okay. Yeah, so you see what I mean? Like, if he's just using an inversion, it's just, yeah, I take plenty of inversion entries. I wouldn't say I'm trying to emulate anything that anyone's doing, but kind of just simple things that we can notice. I think a lot of ICT guys kind of get into the trap of trying to rename their own ideas when it's just ICT. Shadow trades, order flow. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'd agree with that. Right, whatever is present in current order flow that can give us an opportunity, that's what I'll look for. So like right now, right, if this volume imbalance stays open, I don't mind that. And we're going to try to go in there to target 5 handles. Bruh. We missed that. Oh my, we were too slow. That's crazy. How can I fix the low quality of the streams? I don't know actually. Is that how it is for everybody? Discord says it's running in 1080p at 60 frames per second. So I feel like it should be nice in Discord. So I don't know if it's something that has to do with internet maybe. You need to be Hey, chill out. Now he's hyping me up. I wouldn't say exceptional. I say you just need a lot of experience. Right? I don't think I'm more talented or anything like that than anybody else. I just have spent my fair share of hours, we'll say 10,000 hours, right, of mastery or to gain mastery. I've spent my 10,000 hours looking at these candlesticks paint over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So eventually at some point, right, you kind of learn what happens, what they do, why they do it, where price will go. If we can get that entry, it's not going to give us it. But I like that, right? 5 minute, as we said, 5 minutes holding. We leave that fair value gap with a 1 minute and we get above midnight. So I like that as a potential entry right there. Bruh. Maybe we use midnight? We'll use midnight. We'll use midnight. Stop right under 5 minute. It's a better entry. We could hold this. So I wouldn't mind going into this, bouncing, then retrace into entry, and then run through. I do know the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. Comedy. The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. Shrek classic. You could tap that midnight one more time. Go ahead, buddy. You're allowed. You are allowed. Shoobidip-doo. Okay. There was entry. Last entry of the day, regardless of what happens here. So we either go stop loss or we go. This will probably be a full pull. Yeah, we're just going to aim for that 5 handles at this high. So we'll just go full pull to that high if we can get it. Right there. That becomes our little short-term buy-side target. That's just not, what's it at? Buy-side right there. So we want to hold body above midnight, ideally. Now that we enter on that low. That's pretty good rejection right there. Right, we're holding the volume imbalance with the body. That's what we want to see. In cases like this, wicks can go into fair value gaps. Bodies we want to see get held with volume imbalances. So we have one here, and then more importantly, we're using this one to enter. So best case scenario, we hold this and just boom. We're gonna hesitate here. I have very little doubt that we would hesitate here in some way, but ideally we should blast through that. So right here comes the hesitation. A lot of premiums in here, a lot of up and down, right? Bounce, we would say. So we're gonna run into some resistance here. It's just a matter of if we're on sides, we should blast through that. If not, we get stopped, of course. Closure above this, stop loss goes under, swing low where we enter. Dollar dumping aggressively. So right now, to be honest, I'd want to see us push through this without much hesitation. And Q blasting off as well. So yeah, I definitely want to see us run through this with, we can hesitate here, but I don't want to see like 3, 4, 5 candles, right? It needs to be kind of 1, 2 candles, maybe slight retracement and then a blast off. If anything, maybe just 1 candle to create a little bullish fair value gap in here. Never mind. Okay, that's closed in. So retesting volume imbalance. So now that we've retested this, I definitely would want to see us blast off. Dollar is selling off. Go, 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 go. NQ's trying to run a high again. So like right now, right, I don't want to see that candle push through that fair value gap here. Holding it, look at how the candle bodies are holding that. That's what we don't want to see. We'd want to see candle bodies willing to get into this inefficiency. The fact that we're holding that perfectly, just a little sketchy, right? We can't move our stop once again. We're already in this pre kind of disposed consolidating market, high resistance liquidity runs. So when we're in this condition, I'm a lot slower to move my stops. Had we been in a trending environment, my stop would have already been under this low. But because we've given so much give and take this morning, we have an opportunity or a chance to kind of run back into this 5 minutes, still hold and still continue bullish. So only after clearing this premium would my stop get moved, because now we have a new premium turn discount that should support us. Then we'll have a volume imbalance and another volume imbalance. As we're speaking of, wicks can go lower. Bodies we want to see hold volume imbalances. Dollar is dumping. Dollar is hating right now because it's not going higher. He said pray for me. Right? Same entry, yeah. Once again though, like we said, you just got to commit. Entry is logical. I love the entry zone. Order block, midnight level, volume imbalance, 5 minute fair value gap. I'll take that trade 10 times out of 10. So we commit to the idea. If we're off sides, we're off sides. Not going to be right 100%. It's all about probabilities. The probability this plays out is higher than the probability it doesn't. So I'll take it. I mean, look at how this OB perfectly is, right? It hits the low, the 5 minute, and no wick lower, no wick higher, right on the midnight. For those that have watched the OB video, this is a classic high probability order block. It runs out a short-term low into a discount. We then close above it, leaving a discount in the form of the volume imbalance, and we have no wicks. That's quite literally the exact order blocks that we try to look for. So as we mentioned, hesitation here expected. Bodies pushing higher into the premium, good sign. Closure above consequent encroachment, best sign for us. We've hit the high of this now. So conversely, if we're going to reverse, it'll happen rather quickly, in my opinion here. So we should see in the next few minutes whether or not we're right or wrong. Right, it's almost 11:10, so that macro runs 10:50 to 11:10. Wouldn't be surprised in the next 3 minutes to either get reversed on or to actually reach into this area here. That though, yeah, we don't like that. That's NNQ just ran out the high. So, oof. Okay. Yeah, so I think this will be, we'll find out pretty quickly whether or not we're right or wrong here. And because of what we just did, we're going to cut the risk a little bit, right? Because look at Dollar's going lower. I would have wanted to see quick acceleration here. We're not being met with that. And at the same time that we're holding this, NQ has just cleared that high. Right, so we've ran all the way up here in NQ and cleared that. More than likely, that's SMT. We're going to reject. We're going to retrace into this range. ES is going to try to also retrace. I mean, dollar's still going lower, but yeah, just ugly price action, honestly, in general today. Low key, I might just close this at break even and call it a day. I think I am going to do that. I'll leave one on. We're going to close 5. Sell. Sell. Hello? What the? Bruh. Oh well. I got my funded account off, so. This is paper. We'll look at the funded. So y'all can see that. Because at this point. Okay. So as we said, partialed out here in profit, just barely, as we ran into this inversion. So we closed below this volume imbalance. As we trade back up into that, we close, because now that becomes a premium. Stop loss underneath the consequent encroachment of the 5-minute, just in case, as we're saying, a lot of give and take. So in case you want to do like a perfect redelivery into that and move away. But more than likely, we get stopped here. So if we would use that, 3.5, yeah. So I mean, really, just wouldn't have made sense to partial out anywhere. Didn't move enough. This might hold us though, let's see. We know how precise price can be. It's already 11:10. That's actually a little later than I would like to see, but it's whatever. Dollar going lower. Reclaim the volume imbalance. There's also a bearish fair value gap in there now, right? So if we can reclaim that, I like that. But if we hold that, we'll probably get stopped. At this point, stop loss goes underneath this low. We partial 1 right there. 2. Partial in 2 at this fair value gap. All right, it's been holding us. So once again, we partial at areas we would expect resistance to be met. That's there. Dollar still going lower. Let's go ahead and okay, here we go. Here we go. We hold that perfectly to the tick. We love that precision. Right on midnight, as we said, 5 handles gets us out fully, so we just go full pull now. Partial 2. Stop loss. At this point, we've engineered, yeah, we go break even as well. So now risk-free trade, so we either get stopped or we get taken out. Oh, you guys are still looking at this one too, I forget. But yeah, same idea, right? There or there. We close 2 here, I'm fine with that. Slight unfortunate, because as soon as we close, it rips against us, but I'd rather be safe than sorry all day, 10 times out of 10, and we're still going to make a profit on this. Another 0.25%. If we get taken out anyways. But we should. Yeah, we're holding that 5 minute nicely, actually. I think we can get taken out here. It's like I almost want to target that volume imbalance that's right here, but we have to go for the full 5. Or else this was kind of a waste of a trade. Oh, of course, yeah. It's going to hit this buy side and then it's going to go another 100 handle. No, but hey, if it does, as we said, we don't care. Bruh. No. Easy. Okay. We're done. Look at that, fellas. Hello. Beautiful. Wait, swing high? Swing high. We gotta wait for it. Oh, we missed that. That's kind of salty over here. We got entered on the fair value gap, but look, we low ticked that candle instead of catching the swing low entry right there. We could have went swing low to swing high to swing low to swing high. Oh my goodness. We'll see what happens here though, actually. I still favored this, but it's all right. We don't need to get all the way up there now. That's a buy side. We'll probably will, of course, now that we've hit the 5 minute. Yeah, we're definitely going to clear that. 5 minute holds perfectly to then accelerate us into the high to complete the seek and destroy as we head. Oh, freaking A, brother. That's an L. It's all right, though. We didn't get to swing high. That's all I wanted to see. No swing high. We're content, though. Yeah, I'm telling you, that magnet, dog. Magnet never fails to work. The bigger the magnet, the stronger it is. Price can't help but be attracted to the magnet. All right, but we're going to change this real quick. Still in, hell yeah. Hope you partialed. Break even for the day, Mike. Way to get it back, baby. Quick recap of the day. Let's clear up what we did not really rely on. We did use this 5 minute as well. Okay, so first trade, right? We were looking for longs. Let's move this. Wanted to see buy side. That's external range. Wanted to see new wick opening gap. Just wanted to see bullish kind of structure in general. As we head into 9:30, we create some lows. We hold a premium, right? This premium. We then trade lower into the low of the 4 hour. We were saying we want to see if that 4 hour low can hold us. So we wick through it, but look at the candle body. It's never closing below. We open below, but that's not closure below. Matter of fact, when we open below, we're in a hurry to get back inside. That already is a bullish signature. So we close above consequent encroachment. We then create the inversion here, right? We hesitate. We then displace away, closing above the 4 hour, closing above the dotted midnight, and leaving behind a 1 minute fair value gap after clearing a short-term low, right? So we've cleared liquidity. We leave a breaker block. We leave a higher time frame discount. So this is a very high probability setup. I like it. We'll take it again. We get entered on that swing low as we traded into that fair value gap. And then we end up partialing 5 handles at this swing point. So we fell short of our original target, which we've just hit beautifully. I mean, we fall short of that, which is fine. We end up partialing, and then we get stopped here in profit. As you guys saw, right, we still really expected, however, that bullishness. So at this time, we had a 5 minute fair value gap that was untapped in here. That became our new area of interest. We said we'd want to see price trade into that, create a short-term high, and then leave the 5 minute. That's exactly what we get. Short-term low cleared, order block. We then trade above a swing point here. And notice something, right? Only after we close above this high do we get the retracement entry. So that's that YouTube setup. We left behind the OB, we left behind the 5-minute, we left behind the volume imbalance, and we still have the original midnight. Right, so really we're still using almost that same entry we had here, just using new PD arrays. So as we trade into that, we catch the swing low again on the midnight level. And then this is that nice low resistance straight into the buy side we were looking for. So we don't capture that high that we were looking for. That's all right. Instead, we went low hanging fruit, just the 5 handles, which was this intermediate swing point. And we're content with that. We got real close to stop loss. But as we say, we trust our stop to do its job. We never get hit out and we run right into that level. So all in all, ugly price action, but beautiful navigation of it, we'll say. Right, never really was too lost, never really was confused. Even though it was choppy, we understood which levels should hold us, which levels shouldn't. And that's why we're able to take advantage. No L's on the day in a day like this is pretty nice, honestly. I'm pretty content with that. Little pat on the back for myself. But going into tomorrow, let's see. Yeah, I think we just continue that seek and destroy, to be honest. So we've just completed it, higher high. Wouldn't be surprised to see us rip back down. Conversely, if we can, let's say that we close above the high. I still like new week opening gap here. But for the time being, yeah, we're content and we'll leave it. Higher time frame wise, we hold that inversion. So I still would like, right, in a macro sense, highs, this buy side up here, especially if we can kind of continue bullish. But for now, we just have to watch and see, because this 1 minute was pretty ugly. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. We'll be back tomorrow. High impact news, actually, same time. So all week we have high impact news at 10 a.m. So we'll come back at the same time as today, 9:50, 9:55 Eastern. We'll kind of take a look at what happened at the opening, and then we'll get our plan and action ready for the high impact news event. So until then, everybody, have yourselves a good rest of your day, and we will talk again tomorrow morning. Take care.